Hey, we're on, man. We're recording. What's up, guys? Welcome back.
All right, welcome back, guys. I'm here with my good friend Daniel. Welcome to the channel. Damn, fuck. What were you saying? I thought you said it well.
No.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? We're on?
Yeah.
We're on, man. All right.
What up, guys? Welcome to our channel. My name's Skyler. This is my boy Daniel.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you guys for watching. Let's get to it, man. All right. Yo, what's up, you guys? We're back at it again. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Daniel and got my boy Skyler over here.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching and thanks for being supportive of the channel and everything like that. So we really appreciate everything you guys done as far as liking, subscribing, and all that kind of stuff. So we really appreciate it. And we'll start on today's topic, which is we don't know.
We don't know. Nah, again, like we have said before in the past, this is more we don't want this to be planned. We want this to just be raw and straight. Like we don't want no notes or anything, because that's how it is, right? Life is about taking in the punches, not about planning it, because you never know, right? Like punches are gonna come all over the place when you least expect it. So let's treat this podcast like if it's actual life, and let's roll with the punches.
Yeah.
I did want to say though, I want to see more action in the comments. If you're watching this, I appreciate it, but come on. Tell us, give us your thoughts in the comments. You like it, you don't, we're like dumb, or we're saying stupid shit. Like just be honest. That'll help us be better, and that will help the future of this podcast.
Constructive criticism.
Yes.
It's definitely needed. Only because some people take criticism really tough. And I know that sometimes I do as well. Depending on who it comes from, I can take it in a different way, negative or positive, and I try to say it as a positive, but I do take some criticism from certain people a little harsher than I do other people. So the times that it comes from certain people, and I'm just trying to keep an open mind, but it's also like it hurts sometimes when someone's telling you something and you're like, oh, either you don't believe what they're saying to you, or you don't want their opinion, or two, their opinion hits home so hard that you're just like, damn, okay, maybe I should, practice what I preach. If I do say something in this podcast and I don't live up to it, I do expect someone to come back to me like, hey, you check me a little bit, hey, remember you said this, basically it's taking your words accountable to you, right?
That's right. You know what, lately I've been having, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I've been having trouble listening to other people's opinion that are not where I want to be. I think we touched bases a little bit on this, but let's say my friend who doesn't have six-pack or anything and tells me his point of view in fitness, I'm having trouble kind of taking it in. I accept the opinion, I hear him out, but in the back of my head, I'm just like, dude, you're still fat.
Yeah. Well, to your point last time, not everyone's opinion matters to us. At the end of the day, like we say all the time, it pretty much isn't. It doesn't matter. No one should be living their entire life thinking that, everyone's opinion is valid. Your opinion might matter, but it's up to us to decide if we want to take that opinion into account. And to your point, again, when people give me advice and stuff like that, and I look back and I'm just like, yeah, you're maybe you're a little couple steps behind, but you at least hear them out and try to be kind to them. But that they're just far behind compared to where we want to go. So sometimes, their opinion doesn't fucking matter. Honestly, I really don't give a shit. Sometimes you're just like, okay, you keep doing what you're doing, and that's why you are who you are. I'm sure eventually it's going to be a time when family and friends are going to give their opinion of what they saw, what they felt, what we said, and they might not agree with us, but that's okay. It's okay it's okay to agree to disagree, and it helps with conversation. That's part of having an open mind, is having people physically tell you their opinion and not agree with you, and you being okay with that at the same time.
Yeah, I agree, but I guess I'm a nice person, I like people to know that I'm nice and that I care and stuff. But I've just been having trouble with that, dude, because I'm just because they matter too. Their opinions matter too, but not like, but to them, not
Yeah.
to in regards to my lifestyle, but at the same time, I want them to be better. So I kind of just want to shut them up and I just watch and learn. You know what I mean? Like just watch and learn. And but again, I'm not nowhere where I want to be. You know, this is just I'm still growing. I'm still learning. But I feel like with the mentors, with the people that I've been surrounding myself with, and all the good stuff, I feel like I've learned and I could help improve a lot of people's life, especially from the community that I'm from, right?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess that would be like we can dive deep into this about opinions and people's how they their minds of what they think is right versus what is actually right. But then it can go back to is like there's a fine balance, and it's tough. It's really tough for me because even though when I know I'm 100% right, it's not. Sometimes you don't have to make sure that they know that you're right, right? It's just as long as you know you're right and you know that what where you're going is the right path. Nothing else really matters in that point. And that's where the opinion comes in, where it's just an opinion. When you know and you feel deep in your heart that that's something that is correct and you're on the right path and you're going, that means that's more important than anything, that any advice they can ever give you. Like trusting in yourself, believing in yourself is the main key of moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, and as long as you're whoever's opinion or advice they're giving you, just make sure that was some steps ahead of you, right? Because you always want to learn from the people who have done things already, not or who are in the process. Or my point of view, or they're like, let's say we're starting a business, same business, or whatever it is. Like we could compare and contrast our stuff instead of like, oh, you should do this, but why are you telling me to do this if we're both on the same path? We're both at the same level, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's tough. That's what I noticed that I've been struggling with, like just taking people's opinion or like suggestions. I'm like, oh, you should do this. No, like fuck off. Like I'd rather listen to whoever saw Jack and you know what I mean?
No, but that's still good though. You're still keeping that open mindset because I mean, even if they are telling you something that you already know, it's kind of like they're just reiterating it. But sometimes it may make them feel good that they're like they think that they're helping, and if that matters to them, and then you can make them feel like they're helping in some type of way, even though you're just like listening, then that's still a win because then now they're starting to listen. Like eventually, you can turn the tables on them, and instead of them talking and you're listening, they'll start listening to you. Hopefully, right? That's the goal because, like you said, you want to help and everything, and we want to change their mindset. So sometimes you have to let them get it all out, and then when they're done with all of it, then you come back with your opinion. Okay, here X, Y, and Z. This is what I think. This is what I thought. I agree with you on this part what you said, but I disagree and stuff like that. That's how you can pretty much engage them into a deeper conversation or lead them to and I find it sometimes works and other times they'll just shut down and be like, yeah, whatever, and they walk away. Some people are just and I want to make this note before I forget is that there's people that are constantly talking and that are loud. Like the people that are always like loud and speaking and going like that are really not going anywhere as far as like, they don't really think that much because they're just blurting out shit.
Yeah.
The quiet people are because their mind is loud. They're constantly thinking, like stuff like this. I mean, and to the point that I'm trying to make is that if you're constantly talking and going off on it, how can you intake any information and stuff like that? So sometimes it's better to sit here and be quiet and like just listen.
Yes. No, 100%, dude. And that used to be me. I used to like just be the talking person, right? I was used to talk, and I thought I knew everything. I thought I was right all the time. And then eventually I started learning that you have to listen. Like it's okay to listen. And nowadays, like when I talk to my mentors or when I talk to people who are like higher than me, who have accomplished what I want to accomplish, I just ask the question and hear them out. Listen. Yep. Back in the days, I will give my opinion, but then I learned like, okay, my opinion doesn't really matter because they're already somewhere where I want to be. So just hear them out. And this goes for everything. If you have an argument with your partner, with your siblings, with your friends, just listen, like just hear them out. That will make the conversation of the argument better, and it'll kind of like die it down faster.
Yeah.
And it's hard though. It's hard to listen because sometimes like, like your partner or like your friend, they start saying like nonsense, and you're just like, you have so much shit to like talk back to, like to say.
But that's not always the answer, right? So the answer is not always like, you can't fuel the fire with more fire, right?
Correct. Yes.
So that's what we're doing is like when someone, just because someone's at one energy level, sometimes you're at a different energy level. And it's like if they're all angry, sometimes they want you to get to that level. And I've seen that. So when someone's angry, they want you to be angry because they're angry.
Yeah.
But if you can stay and maintain that calm level, they'll eventually bring themselves down. But it's so hard because they need a reaction, because with every action comes a reaction. Blah blah blah. Put in the comments who freaking said that. I forgot who. But with every action comes a reaction, right? So people with high energy and are constantly talking and they're all loud and stuff, they want you to be up there because that's where they're at. But if you can be calm and be like collective, you can slowly bring them down, and that's where it changes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so just if you take something out of this past 5-10 minutes, just listen up and don't get to that energy. Don't give that energy, right? They're all negative and arguing. Just calm down, listen up, and watch how the conversation will play out better.
Yeah, we all struggle with that, because sometimes we just immediately react to just
especially if they say something that it's dumb, or like something you don't want to hear, or like something that just push your buttons, like. Are you serious?
Yeah.
But yeah, just be calm, and again, we're all working on that. Everyone has their opinions, but doesn't mean you have to follow them. You have to listen to them, because that's part of being a person and being a good person. But doesn't mean you have to take their advice. I always seek for advice from those who have accomplished what you're doing. If they live a shitty life, don't take their advice.
Don't take all their advice. They might have something to like. Even a bum in the street can teach you something maybe one time out of a million times, or they might have something to say. So sometimes you just take it with a grain of salt, because someone always has a life lesson, and maybe the life lesson is not what they're saying, but what you're looking at. So when you're looking at a homeless person or someone that's in a bad situation, it's a learning lesson for you, because you're like, okay, maybe I never want to be there, or how did that person get there, and there's like 101 stories of like, how people get there, because everyone has their own story, everyone has their own life. And it might be similar to other stories, but it's still unique to each person. And if you can just listen or see how they got there, sometimes that will help you understand certain things in life that maybe you didn't understand. Like, as being a younger person, you're like, how could you ever become a bum? I'll never be a bum and stuff like that. But you don't know their story.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Everyone has their own story, and from people you could learn what to do, and then from others what not to do, right? So it's just like you said, if somebody is going through, we could put it like in fitness, right? I always like to relate everything in fitness because that's what I'm doing right now.
Works.
So if they're obese or fat and they're telling you, oh well, this and that, at least you're seeing or you're hearing what they're doing wrong, and that's what not to do.
Yep.
In order to be like that.
To your point with like the fitness and stuff, is like, again, not just seeing it, but hearing it when they're giving advice. And it, like, if that's not the body that you want, then that's the perfectly reason not to listen to them. They might have other good qualities to like for insight on life, but if it's pertaining to like you said, fitness, and that's not the goal that you want to have, maybe that's not the right advice that you should be listening to. But maybe in different aspects of opening your mind, if they might have a different mindset or a better open mind than you do, and maybe they're giving you different advice of nuggets and stuff like that you can take in and maybe take advice from that.
Okay, so now that we're kind of talking about like taking people's opinion, being nice and stuff, I don't know if you see my Instagram post, and sometimes I say a couple things that people have told me, like, oh well, maybe you shouldn't say that because people are gonna get offended. What do you think about like being like too nice? Because like people like those. When they tell me that, my response is just like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to say whatever I'm thinking. I'm not going to say disrespectful shit, but I'll like, I'm not saying like, oh, if you're fat, then that means something. Like, right. Oh, don't call them fat. Like, yeah. Well, what's another word? Like, you know what I mean? Obese is the same thing. You're
overweight, But I think if you're doing it like that, then we're going to be sensitive, and we can't be like, I'm big on saying maybe we're too sensitive right now, and I don't agree with all of it. I do understand and agree that we have to be nice, and maybe our choice of words should be a little bit better, but at how we feel and what we're saying shouldn't like be taken offensive by everyone, you know. It's if you take that offensive, maybe you know the shoe fits, but at the same time, it's pretty tough to go back and forth, like especially being you know putting ourselves out there and being on the internet. We do have to be careful because you know some people will just you know get offended and then start a whole thing taking our conversation the wrong way. You know, as we've both seen it, and they can mix and match the words and they can stir up conversations that didn't really happen just for their benefit because they're so upset with what you said, or they're you know they just like you know have that negativity. But
Yeah, I feel like now like the way the world is right now, people are becoming more sensitive. And I don't know, they're just gonna start talking shit, or they're not gonna like your stuff, they're not gonna support you. But there's no other way to say like there's no other way for you to like say that, and so that could trigger some type of change in them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like if you tell me, "Oh, you're fucking dumb, you dumb fuck," and if I know it's true,
yeah,
I'm gonna be like, "Fuck," you know what? Like, yes, I am dumb, but what am I gonna do to fucking get better? I'm gonna hit the books. I'm gonna start doing my research. I'm gonna start learning more things. But if you tell me, "Oh, you're okay. You're not that," if you kind of like sugarcoat it, like
yeah,
you're smart but not that smart, you're just kind of like lying to me, and I'm gonna be okay with whatever I'm doing, and therefore I'm not gonna be learning more because I'm okay, you know?
yeah. That's tough love. Like, we grew up with tough love, and there's a fine balance. And I hope that we can figure out what that fine balance is. You know, I try to not be like so harsh when I say certain things, only because you know, like I have my son's now a teenager, so now that he's becoming more aware, like he's a little different, you know. But as I grew up with a little tough love as well, and I try to do the same thing with him. But I do notice that I'm a lot nicer. I do sugarcoat a lot more things with him because you know I didn't want him to feel like the certain things like I felt growing up. But then at the end of the day, or even at you know after it's all said and done, I was like, I should have been harder on him.
Yeah.
You know, because life is cruel, life is hard. It's not gonna be easy for anyone. And if we just continue to make it easy on the next generation, like we are with this generation, we just don't know where it can go. That's why everyone's so sensitive these days because we were so nice. Like everyone's
Yeah.
too nice to him. Oh, you can't do this. You can't say that. You can't do this. And to a certain extent, yes, we all agree that certain things should not happen. But comes a time where if you want to grow, it has to come from struggles. You know, tough men come from struggle, like come from a struggle. You know, weak men come from easy times. You know, like there's a quote out there about that as well. But you know, like and I agree that we should be a little tougher.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. And if you're hearing shit online that people are talking shit or not being straight up, it's just the facts, you know. At the end of the day, we don't do it to make you feel bad or to like talk shit because we're hating or whatever negative way you want to take it. We're just doing it to try to spark that like fire in you to fucking get your lazy ass up and start working out or start hitting the books or start being a better person. That's how we, you know, like one, if you help one person a day, that's gonna make the world better, you know. So we just like whenever if you hear me say shit like that, it's for that reason.
You know, about people that are lazy or you know their minds, if they're overweight and stuff like that. Like that whole point, it should be told and it should feel like maybe if it hits home, then that's because maybe you should, you know, change something about it, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what we're here for to make a change. And like you said, to spark something so that you can start making that change, you know, like, but we'll never be like that. Those people that are just like cyberbullying. We don't condone
Yeah.
cyberbullying. Like anything that if people are cyberbullying you or if they're, you know, hey, sending you rude texts, comments, and all that stuff, just you don't have to listen to that stuff, you know, and you don't have to be a part of that. And I'm sure that we'll get a bunch, and you know, we won't care about it because you know, you have to be strong in this world with people's opinions and what they think and what they're saying to you. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to read it.
Yeah.
You just can keep going on with your life. Keep the positive energy.
We're all here for this. Like we're all here for the same thing, right? We all want to be happy. We all want to be better. We all want to take care of our family, and our struggles are different. Our journey is different. We have different purposes, but at the end of the day, we have the same end goal, right? Different races, same finish line. So
Yeah.
just make sure you become better. If somebody says something that you don't like, analyze it. Don't just react to it, you know? And that's the thing that the world has now. Like, we just react to every little thing instead of taking it in, analyzing it, breaking it down, and see what the hell is going on. Because if it got you, if it bothered you, it's because there's something behind it that is true.
Either it's true or that you think it's about yourself like that, you know. So that's sometimes that's the case too. That's not just about making it truth, but it's also about like how you maybe how you talk to yourself inside your head. You know, that's a big thing. Is like, and when we talk about mindset, you need to be able to talk to yourself with kindness and be okay with yourself, be okay with your mistakes, be okay with your past, your life, and everything. You have to forgive yourself for your mistakes and stuff like that. And know that it doesn't really define you. Your mistakes don't define you. What you do afterwards what defines you. And that's a big life lesson and a big mindset to have. And it's really tough to have because we all judge ourselves harder than anyone else can judge yourself.
Yeah, of course.
We judge ourselves so harsh with like our past mistakes, like I said, the things we should have done. Oh, we should have done this, but you know, we move forward. By the way, we overcome that is that we move forward, and we start thinking that we take it one step at a time of that positivity. Like you said, analyze, take that moment in, and try to like really like think about the situation, think about what's happening, and then think about your action, what you're gonna do next.
Yeah. Just better yourself in every way, shape, or form, really. Now, with that being said, let's switch it up a little bit. Because I know you went on a trip, so I kind of want to like, because you went on a bike, right?
Yeah, I did. I went on a motorcycle. Yeah, with my dad.
Okay, so you went on a trip for like fucking the whole week. You were riding a bike, a motorcycle. You were probably driving for like maybe top 7 hours nonstop at some
not
point,
really,
or
not 7, but I mean it feels it's basically not nonstop because you have to stop for gas and stuff and eat sometimes.
Obviously, dude. But like,
yeah,
what was the most you went like driving without stopping?
It was when we were coming back because we were trying to make it home on Thursday, so we drove 5 hours. I think we did 5.5 hours straight, and that was really tiring because it's not just 5.5 hours straight. We were like, you know, weaving through traffic. We were trying to get through everything. But I mean, the riding is a fun part. That's the traffic that kind of scares everyone. But on the trip, it was great because, you know, having that time when you're on a motorcycle, it's kind of like driving alone, but in a different aspect. You have the full time where your mind is actually completely blank. You're not thinking about anything that was behind you. You're not thinking about anything that is troubling you. For some reason, when you hop on a motorcycle or you're just driving alone with music, all you can see is the scenery and the wind's blowing. You're listening to music and you just feel like that freedom. It's like that weird.
That's what I wanted. That's where I was going. That's where I wanted to ask, like, because I mean, I don't have a motorcycle, but I drive alone all the time. So I know sometimes it's just you and your thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And a motorcycle, I feel like it's more deep because it's just literally you, like one. In the car, you could have other people. It's just bigger. It feels like more space to think. Motorcycle, you have to be a little more concentrated, more sharp.
Yeah,
so
100%.
How did this whole driving? Because you did a week of driving, dude. Like, you know, how did that make you feel? Like, what are your thoughts when you're driving for so long and stuff? Like, do you even do you reflect life, or you just excited to be out there, or what's your?
There's a lot going on actually because there's so much going on, but at the same time, there's little going on. And what I mean by that is that your mind is thinking about like all the scenery that you're going through, but not once did I think about what I had at home, what bills I had. Not once did I think about the troubles that were going on in my life, which I don't have any right now. But again, you don't really think about that stuff. We mainly took this trip. You know, me and my dad really needed just to get out. You know, clear the minds. You know. Because that's what it is. You're clearing your mind of all the stuff that you're stuck at home. And on the rides, every day is like 3-4 hours. And in doing so, when you're riding, again, you're just looking at scenery. You have the wind blowing. You're not thinking about anything negative. You're just thinking about, wow, look at that huge mountain. Like, oh, look at there's deer crossing. You know, like, and it takes so much concentration because when it comes to certain times, like you need to constantly be scanning. When you're on a motorcycle, you have to scan the road for bumps. You have to scan, you know, when the turn is coming up and stuff like that, your mind is so in tune with what's happening versus not a car, right? A car, you just like, you can lay back, almost close your eyes and you know how to drive. But there's so much of that going on, so it takes up most of your like your thinking. And the only thing you have to think about is the scenery at that point. There is a few deep thoughts that happened, and which I think the only deep thoughts is that wow, I'm like this is what life must have been like, you know, back in the day when they just didn't have, no one really was stuck to a job, a 9 to 5. Like we're talking about like early 1900s, 1800s, when you could just literally hop on a horse and go. That's what I always think of a motorcycle. It's just like you hop on and you forget everything. So that's kind of where my mind was at. It was felt free. I felt, you know, happy. I didn't feel the stress was zero stress. You know, like I was gone. So it's nothing but just like a blessing, just to, you know, every moment that you're just like taking it all in.
And where did you guys go?
We went to Utah. So we went up. First place we went to in Utah was St. We got up to like St. George, which is like the first town or major city that's in Utah. So driving past Vegas through Arizona,
Yeah,
and then to Utah, and then we wrap around and came back.
okay. I mean, yeah, dude, it's crazy. I wanted to ask you that, but I'm like, I'll hold it till the weekend, because I mean, and just to kind of like add on to that, it's okay to take to this stress, right? To take that vacation, because even sometimes I'm like, no, I gotta keep working. I gotta save up. I gotta to make you know, just to. I've never been those persons that are just like, I'm just gonna take a day off just because.
Yeah.
And I know other people do it, but it's okay if you have to take a day off to go on a road trip, to go travel, and you should do that. You know, I should do that as well, because, like you said, you know, there was no troubles, there was no stress, and sometimes that's what we need, right? We have to just go out in nature or do what makes you happy, instead of always being instead of always been thinking about like your stress, your bills, your drama with your baby daddy or whatever it is. So just make sure you take the day off to enjoy yourself and do things that make you happy.
Yeah, it has to be like there's definitely a balance, you know. Like I have friends that really enjoy the summer and they're really like good at taking vacations, and I'm just like I live you know, through them sometimes because they're taking all these vacations, and I'm damn, like they must having a blast, you know. Like, but again, it's like the grass is green on the other side kind of thing, but they're enjoying life because they can to the fullest. And you know, if you can take a step back and say, okay, well, let me try to save up for this one trip and just take that one trip just to clear your mind. You know, it's not just about like going out and drinking. It's not, on this trip, it wasn't about that to me, you know. It was about clearing the mind, keeping an open mind, you know, centering myself, and so that I can come back with a fresh eyes, fresh heart, fresh soul.
Yes.
So that we can go and continue this stuff. You have to do that.
Yes, and that's what I like about trips, road trips, or just traveling, period. Because not only do you get to explore the world, but you also get to analyze your life, as in like you enjoy being there, so you start thinking ways to make that happen more often, or you start coming up with ideas, or like, okay, when I get home, I'm gonna do this instead, because you saw something or someone in a different state or country doing it that you really like now you could bring it to your life.
Yep.
So it's not, again, you get to explore the world, you get to see new things, new cultures, and you get to analyze your life. So it's just like, it's okay to do that. So if you're planning to do something, a trip, just do it. Fuck it, you know, don't overthink it.
Yeah, the moment you overthink like, oh, should I take this trip and stuff like that, just you might have that small regret. But and it's all calculated, right? Calculated as far as like make sure that you're doing within your budget. You know, don't go out and like spend all your money like, oh, this is my vacation, I'm gonna spend $3,000. You know, like,
Yeah.
and that's your savings. You know, you gotta think smart about it. You know, it's not just about, if that's what you're going for, then you're doing it. Your vacation's kind of wrong. And no hate to any of those who do that, but you know, if you're gonna go on a vacation, it's supposed to be relaxing. You shouldn't come back from vacation and feel exhausted and like, oh, I can't believe, like, you know,
Yeah,
this all happened.
like come back to stress because you have to start like save up more because you spend all your.
Yep.
And we're talking like regular folks like us, you know. Obviously, there's like those rich YouTubers, or like they, you know, 5-star hotels, private jets and all that. Obviously, if you could do that, then by all means, go for it. You know, we support you. But we're talking about just the regular 9-to-5ers, you know, like if like me, like I just make sure I plan accordingly to when I come back, I'm still good. I'm not stressed about, oh, well, I spent all my money on vacation. So you just got, and it all goes back to your like your finances, right? How you're budgeting, how you're saving, how you're um actually just spending your money here while you're working. So
To a point you said in a couple of videos past, you know, like about you being sober and like it's basically you're not spending all your money on alcohol and all that and going out and all that stuff, you know, like you can do that occasionally, but if you're going out every weekend, and I think it comes with like getting older. You start realizing, okay, I don't need to go out every single weekend. I don't need to spend all my $400 at a bar. You know, $400 at a bar is $400 to on a plane trip that you could take somewhere. You can literally use that $400 to pay off X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. So taking consideration and being this more mindful, being more mindful of certain things, especially with your finances, and as you grow, you want to make sure that you can take, you know, those chances, or you can take vacation and stuff like that without feeling like, damn, if I take this vacation, I'm gonna come back broke. And the whole time you're on vacation, now you're thinking about all this stuff you have to do on your way back. So that's not even vacation anymore.
yeah,
Now you're just stressed out even more because now you felt like you were forced somewhere and spending all your money. So it's for people like us, you know, that have to that work hard, have to save for vacations and stuff, and they can't just blow our money on everything. That really, I think that gives us a different reality. As far as like seeing everyone else that goes on vacation all the time, you know, like other friends, like basically stay in your lane.
yeah,
Stay in your financial lane as much as possible. You know, sometimes we want to like be up here with the rest of your friends that are like make more than you. And you know, it's okay that you want to be up there. It's a goal. It's something you're striving for and you're working towards. But you have to like make sure that you stay in your financial lane, because when you're done and when it's all said and done, they're not coming back and they're not paying your bills.
yeah, 100%. And it's crazy that you say that, because you just gotta be true to yourself in whatever that you do, work, relationships, even that, like your lifestyle. Be true to yourself. If you know you cannot do something because everyone else is doing it, just wait it out. Eventually it'll come your time, you know. Don't try to rush things. And that's the thing that I did in the past. I always wanted to be ahead. I wanted to rush things. I wanted to get like to the top real quick, you know. I mean, I'm still working my ass out there, like off to get there, but it's gonna come. As long as you're preparing yourself for that, it's coming. So don't just, you know, just be true to yourself. Don't be like a fake person just because everyone else is doing it, or you try to be part of the group, or you try to like blend in, or try to be the cool kid or the cool person. It'll come. Just be patient, be consistent, and shit will get here. So just, you know.
Yeah, patience is key, or patience is a virtue, is what they always say, right? So if you can have patience with your finances, and like most people have like what they call fear of missing out, you know, FOMO. I have it sometimes, but not too much anymore. Now that I'm just like staying in, like we're so focused on what we're doing that it's hard to like also pay attention to what other people are doing. So if we bring that back into whatever episode it was where we talked about, you know, pay more attention to what you're doing and focus on what we're doing, then you can't really think about what other people are doing, and that will help with them thinking like, oh, I need to go spend money, I need to go to this vacation, or I need to go to this place because I saw this person do it, now I have to do it, kind of thing, which is still good. I mean, you can do that. But again, make sure that you're able to do it at that time, so that when you do go, you're not stressed out and you're financially not able to take care of it when you get there. So if you have patience and I lost my train of thought. God.
got to. Just let it.
All right, that's gonna be a cut. All right, you need to have patience, because if you don't have fucking patience when you're even now, if I don't have patience with what I'm trying to say, then I'm pretty much gonna just be screwed. So, okay. So having patience is super key, because we need to make sure that we again stay in our lane. We make sure that we are feeling okay with what we're doing, because if we're not okay with what we're doing and stuff like that, and then, you know, you're just gonna live in that fear of missing out your entire life, and then you're gonna be spending all your money trying to live through someone else's eyes, living through someone else's adventures when you should be living through your own. Everyone has their own life path. And that's where you should be following your path. Don't follow everyone else's, because that's not your path in life.
Correct. Yeah. Just have goals, have things you want to accomplish, and work towards them on your own terms. That's pretty much it. Because if you, like you said, if you see your neighbor going to fucking Europe every summer, and you want to do the same, but they have different life paths. You know, maybe they've been saving longer than you. Maybe they have a better career than you. Maybe something, or somebody else is paying for them. But you think we just see like what's on social media, right? Nobody posts their struggles. Nobody posts what's behind the scenes. They just post the happy moments, happy thoughts, or happy or cool stuff, right? But there's more behind that. So just focus, like you said, focus in your lane and prepare for it. And then when the time is right, you'll take action and you'll enjoy it more.
Yeah, you will definitely enjoy it more if you saved hard and you did it all by yourself and stuff like that, where you didn't rush into it. You didn't like do something just because, it's spark of the moment, which is also fun too. Like, but make sure you have the finances to do that. But, when you jump into things and you want to do things, have some thought about it. Like you said, have some patience, have your own thoughts, make sure you're in your lane, make sure that you're doing it because you want to do it, not because you saw someone else doing it.
Yeah, and again, we're all here with a different journey, and we're all here. At the end of the day, I'm trying to make my life better. You're trying to make your life better, and if I could help you, by giving you advice or stuff like that, then that's cool. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna do anything for you. The only thing I could do for you is either maybe help you, give you resources, but it's up to you how far you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's up to you where you want to go and what you're not gonna do and what you are gonna do. So just get yourself around people who are gonna be there for you, but everything else of work has to come in from you. We're back. We're having technical difficulties. But yeah, just to wrap this up, I think we talked about a lot of valuable stuff that I mean, it's just our point of views, right? Of what we think, of what the world thinks, or what's going on in the world. But at the end of the day, or just make sure you actually analyze your life, right? Like just analyze your life and make sure you always want to be better. The point of this podcast, of this talks, of my social media is to help you guys be better, to help you guys become the good example to your kids, to your family, to your wife, and to the world, really, because that's what we need, especially nowadays with what's going on with the world, with I can name all this shit that's going on, but just make sure like we need better people in the world, because the world's going to shit, and you can be one of those persons helping the world to be shit.
Right. Yeah. Again, it goes back to how you're thinking with positivity. Staying, thinking about certain things of how you're gonna take things, taking comments, taking how people your advice and stuff like that. When you're taking advice, like it doesn't have to come off as, as a negative way. It could be encouraging. So what we mean by that is like, if something is triggering you, if something is like, someone says something to you and it's upsetful because it feels like they're attacking you, maybe that they're possibly coming from a place of love, or maybe not. That's up to you to determine that, and hopefully that they are coming from a place of love and they're saying, okay, well, maybe you should change this about it. And again, it's up to you to make that change, and it's up to you to decide how you want to live your life, and how you want to live your life is all based on you, right? No one can tell you how to live anything. They might have opinion, like we said, but you definitely need to figure out what works for you and what what makes you happy at the end of the day, and just move forward like that.
Yeah. So you heard it, folks. I mean, just make sure you're 1% better every day, and let us know your thoughts. Write something in the comments, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Yep. All right then, guys. See you next time. Peace.